Yeah.
It's,
Like if your son-in-law was logged into Rumble or YouTube or where he could see you right now. Where the hell are we? Rumble
we're on Rumble, we're on YouTube, we're on X, and we're on Facebook.
My Coast Guard pilot's son-in-law is actually flying a mission right now, protecting Uncle Joe. And,
God bless America.
God bless America.
Yeah. So the small world connection here is that where I was stationed at Atlantic City.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Right he was initially in New Orleans and then went up there. So a couple years left. So.
Yeah, I probably predate him by about a decade, but it's okay.
Are you out? Are you out now, or?
Yeah, I'm out now. I've been out since. I got out in 2006. It's a long story how I ended up out of the Coast Guard, but anyways, we're not here because of that. We're here.
He got caught. Oh, that's another show.
I didn't get caught in anything. I did end up in the back of a police car.
He was never convicted. That's the most important part of the story.
That's right.
But I'm willing to learn.
Let's see. Hold on.
But he's willing to learn. That's right.
So there's John McCain's A4 that we flew. There's some titties, and there's some photos there. So I just Fig wanted a tour. There's my Air Force experience that really kind of sucked balls.
Yeah, I can say the same thing.
Yeah, and there's some ass, but it's my bar, so stop it.
Yeah.
There's my Marine. There's my girl. I just promoted her.
That's awesome.
We saw you pointing off screen, so he doesn't want us looking at his daughter and making comments.
It's a smart man.
We'll come back. We'll come back.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Are we live again?
No.
We're still live.
Well, we're live. We're just not recording.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And there's
I'm trying to follow the rules, man.
there's someone watching us on YouTube and someone watching us on Facebook. We didn't get the announcement out because we didn't decide to record until earlier today. So we'll get there.
You know what? I appreciate you calling me back. I was giving shit to Fig because I'm like, you guys running out of dudes. I mean, I appreciate you calling me back, but like, I wasn't that interesting. Sure.
Yeah. You got a lot of energy, and
you got the energy. Your shows are great. They always get good ratings.
Oh, I get ratings.
Yeah.
No one ever tells me about the ratings. Shit.
Yeah. So there we go. Look who's here. Spook's here.
Spook. Hi, Spook.
Barry Moore. Hey, my man, Barry Moore.
Can I turn those lights down? Those suck. Hold on a second.
Yeah. He just, I think you're in Honolulu, right there, Spook? Yeah. Because we're going to try and record with him here very soon. Talk to him about tonight. He said he was just going to be getting in from, I think, from Sydney up to Honolulu. So you're going to be hammered dog squeeze, man. You don't want to sit through this tonight.
No.
Say hammered dog squeeze?
Yeah.
I think that's a technical term.
Is that a freight thing? What the heck?
I'm pretty sure that's just a straight up technical term.
That's right.
That's a medical diagnosis.
That's right.
Hey, Fig, we're going to use that next time as some sort of example. Because it's just like hammered dog squeeze, right?
Yeah, like hammered dog shit.
Exactly.
Let's see. So episode 109 is out right now, and then 110 will be next week. So he'll be 111.
111.
Oh, I want to be 111. That's what I was squatting.
Yeah. Can you hear the music?
You're gonna be 111.
Can you hear the music, everybody?
Sure.
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yep.
So I set up the audio right for once. Aloha from Hawaii. Right. All right. Well, let's take this pig live. Let's get her done.
All right. Wow, there's a lot of shit. Kemo's got a lot of shit going on there.
Oh man, I know, right? Got to, and now he's frozen again.
Now he froze up.
There you are.
That's
You're
all right.
back.
He's back.
So,
Other dudes.
and are you on your iPad or what?
I am, because I couldn't get my laptop to work. I'm sorry. Is that okay?
Not a big deal. Assuming you're using Safari.
No, I'm using the app that made me go to the link. Made me go to an app to get the animal looking face thing.
Okay.
Yard Dog, whatever it was. Is it working?
StreamYard.
Yeah, but Yard Dog is the app. Okay. All right. Well, let's hope it's going to work. Here's what I'm going to do in case it doesn't. I'm going to grab Audio Hijack Pro.
Why are there so many Harriers on the screen? What the?
Right. That's what we do.
Dude.
It's cool jets, man.
Hey, check
Hey,
this
guys,
out.
I saw your picture on the big screen on the Veterans Wall
Nice.
Where?
Where'd you
What
get-
veterans wall?
in Denver. We'll talk about it later.
All right.
One of those.
Look at this.
Where'd you get that?
I don't know.
That's sweet.
Can you
All of
see
my
it?
lighters in the
Yeah.
room. Why-
Where'd you get it?
I got it on eBay.
Really? Got to sell me one, man.
No, this was it.
You didn't get enough for everybody?
There was only one.
Bullshit. You're so full of
It was
shit,
from this.
Nice.
Okay.
And I guess a squadron purchase, and somebody had it on eBay. That's the only one I could find.
$253.
It was more than a normal Zippo lighter should be by about 3 times. But it was
Hey,
worth it.
Worth it.
There
damn
you,
it.
Worth it.
there you go. All right. Let's skin this cat, shall we?
All right.
Yes.
Here we go.
Hey, and where'd the other guys go? Is it just you and me?
Yeah,
just
they're in the
three of
back-
us.
they're in the
You do
background.
production for us.
You guys have escalated to this existence that I'm not familiar
Listen,
with.
dude, you have no idea how sophisticated we are now.
Just
It's
ask
like,
us.
it's like going from Have Quick to like Link 16. I have no idea how it happened, but it's wonderful.
I don't either. It all listen. It's a way over my bald head. I promise you that.
You ladies want to stop chatting so we can start the fucking show?
Let's
Yes,
go. Start it. Fuck.
Here we go.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
This here is a true story about crossing the pond at night in the world's smallest cockpit on the tanker through the weather. Oh, and to the tanker crew who did that, thanks a lot. We really appreciated that. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Well, there I was, crossing the pond, and you could see that I wasn't exactly fond.
So there I was, panel checking with my daughter, taking pictures at 29 Palms, and I had no idea until after it was over. And it was a wonderful thing.
That's a beautiful thing. And you know what? We don't. This is an audio show 99% of the time, but for those that are watching this live stream, this is what he was talking about: getting that panel check, making sure it was.
That
A bunch of Marines saying, fuck yes! They're getting tossed by the dirt of an A4 at 10 feet.
that's it, baby. That's it.
I know the Harrier probably did a much better show, but that A4 does a nice job.
Dude,
That thing would rock and roll.
say it. Say it.
Yeah.
So that's how all great aviation stories start. Welcome to So There I Was.
Indeed. Yeah. Hey, and who's that? That's Fig, right? You home in Kansas City?
I'm in Kearney, Missouri / Kansas City, and where's my co-host?
I'm in South Haven, Mississippi tonight, a suburb of Memphis.
That is not as exotic as
Did you say Mississippi?
Mississippi. Mississippi.
All right.
Oh
spelling
man, that
bee
is
guys.
how
You got
all
that
great
down.
aviation tales begin. I'm sorry I got distracted by that cool video of that A4 passing at 200 feet, right? Is that how I?
Yeah, exactly. It was,
It was 200
it was
knots. Come
200
on.
feet. Probably maybe about 300 feet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
250 knots though.
It
Max.
It doesn't take much for that mighty A4 to kick up some dust, so.
Yeah,
FNA cotton.
that was awesome. For those that didn't see the video, the airplane literally kicked up dust as it flew over the Marines. So
Yeah.
very cool. So your daughter was out there filming with him, and
Who is this?
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
We have our special guest with us, Kemo.
Oh yeah, damn.
For
We ought to
our
restart
for
practically.
the third I think of the third visit
show.
over
Just
the
call-
last year
call
and
me
a half.
Hat Trick, brothers.
This is
There
the
you
hat
go.
trick show for Kemo. Thank you, Kemo, for joining
welcome.
us. And I'm going to go back through and look which other.
He was on 40, I think, and 58 is
All
my
right,
guess.
so this one's going to be 111, baby.
Let me just
Were
tell
you you a VF 111 guy by chance?
I was a VFC 111 guy when we stood the squadron back up in 2005 in Key West as an adversary squadron with F5s.
I want to hear all about that
I'll
because
tell
we
you
haven't
how
talked
happened.
about that
It
yet.
was kind of weird, as far as the naming. We weren't expecting that, but it was an honor to bring back the Sundowners.
Awesome.
Very cool. So you got Repeat and Fig and Kemo here. Apologies for totally getting distracted by the cool video in the beginning of the show there, but thanks for joining us, Kemo. This is cool.
Hey, it's an honor. I love you guys. You guys are great. I love what you do.
So this is tonight we don't need to go into where it all started because we already have that down. But you've done so much in tactical aviation, not just on active duty or in the reserves or that little piece where you were a little time with was it Air Guard unit or was it Air Guard unit, right?
Yeah, a little Air Guard.
Is it up in Utah?
New Mexico, the top.
And then so there's so much more to what you've done. This is excellent. So we're going to get to hear some stories from what it's like to be. I don't want to be a spoiler. So let's just kind of go into it.
Okay.
So the VC. So you left active duty. And then you did a little time in the Guard, and then you got back in the Navy Reserves, I think, right?
That's correct.
And then is that when you guys stood up the VC squadron down in Key West?
So Fallon, Nevada was kind of the home for the VFC. We took it over from VFA 127, which was the strike component of the Navy, where they had an auxiliary field in Fallon, Nevada. And as they turned it into Naval Air Station Fallon, Nevada, and moved Top Gun there from Miramar, and then moved Marines from El Toro down south, and then moved the fighters to Oceana and wherever else, they made the mecca of tactical aviation for the Navy in the most wonderful place known to man, as my wife would call it, the colon of the world, known as Fallon, Nevada. Or what you say? If God needed to give someone an enema, he would stick it in Fallon. That's kind of where.
Oh, that's like the perfect description.
Yeah. And it was, for us as flyers, it was great because the bombing ranges are right there, all the working areas are right there, supersonic, all that stuff, and the families got to enjoy, as my wife would say, on a nice, cool, warm spring day, you could hear your children getting dumb. And it was,
boy,
yeah. But we grew to love it. But you have to imagine being a guy in Miramar, San Diego, and getting orders to go to Top Gun and the adversaries. And my wife, I was on cruise when I got them, and she said, "Hey, so what's going on?" "Well, we're going to Fallon for this Top Gun adversary thing." "Oh, where's Fallon?" I'm like, "Well, it's kind of close to Tahoe." "Oh," she said, "that sounds nice."
Yeah.
And we got there, and I don't know why she stayed with me. It was terrible. All the base housing was full. We got a triple wide, like on the most outskirtish part, next to like a great, really nice brothel. Right next door. I mean, I don't know what the problem was. It seemed like a really good combination of things.
Right. But let's focus on the positive. Okay. Great weather. Right?
Yeah, the best flying on the planet.
Best flying ever. There's terrain, the wide open spaces, lots of restricted areas, like you were saying. So then there's the other part, which is, family.
Yeah, and that was the stuff that I luckily had to deal with when I came home. But when I wasn't home, it was the most amazing experience I think I had. I mean, Miramar was a wonderful place because you could have the Pacific Ocean for all the working areas, but be minutes away from the Chocolate Mountains and all of the restricted areas there, El Centro, and so that was a great combination. Moving it to Fallon, it just made your bingo even lower, and it was wonderful because you could do all of these things from opposing blue forces doing air to ground, air to air, all within 50 miles of the base. It was kind of like Yuma. Just I don't even know if it's prettier or not. You know
Not
what I
quite
mean?
as hot.
Not quite as hot. There you go. Higher
Yeah.
altitude.
Yeah.
So
What's,
hey,
hey,
wait,
back up
wait.
for just a second. Give us a couple definitions. VFC. We've talked about VFA before, so fighter attack.
Sure. So the Navy has their weird things: V for Navy, F for fighter, C or A for attack, C for composite. So VFC was a Navy fighter composite squadron that was initially consisting of multiple different types of aircraft. So you have ones. You had Hornets, F5s, at the time Kafirs, and the A4 and the F-16 end model. And then that morphed into, as money and budgets prevailed, we ended up going to specifically an F5 squadron for the longest time until recently, we're back. The FC-13 is now back to having F-16s, but it used to be composite, hence the C. The C was to say a bunch of different airplanes.
Yeah.
How
many could you fly at any given time? Were you limited in the number of airplanes?
There were some folks that were dual qual. I initially started in the Hornet, got like 6 hours, and then they said you're going to the F5, and then everything went away. So we were all F5 guys for the most part. But in the day when people were the butt kisses and the Guidos and all of the adversaries of like VF-126 and Miramar, those guys flew, I think, 2. They had like an A4 qual and an F-16 qual, for example. Okay. And so that squadron was like the place that all the young fighter dudes wanted to go to because they're the ones that came over. They opposed you. We fought. They kicked your ass. They taught you how to fight and fly. And so it was one of these things where, wow, I really want to do these things. And as it moved to Fallon, it became just one aircraft specific. But the F5 was just a wonderful airplane in the sense of ease, tactically sound. And it goes back to Baron von Richthofen in his memoirs. If you remember what he said, and we use it in some of our doctrine or some of our discussions and lectures, but he said something to the effect of, the size and quality of the box matters little. What matters is the man who sits in it. And it really rings true in the F5 because there's this 1950s airplane that you could literally destroy any aircraft in the world during initial dogfighting and training and whatnot because you just did it all the time. You're so good at it. So it was a great platform to show the abilities of the F5 to a Hornet, to an F-35. When we were in Key West, we were fighting Raptors. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can kick their ass once. And then, as you taught them more, they came around. And the ultimate goal was that you ended up getting your ass kicked, which was a great thing because you took these guys from a brand new, maybe a RAG or replacement air group, new person to an aircraft, or a weapons school dude that we were fighting in the Top Gun syllabus, and you could take them from getting their ass kicked in an F5 to getting destroyed by them at the end game. So it was a wonderful rite of passage. It was very heartwarming to see the development of our fighter pilots and how they could become better with regards to that, because it's a dying skill with where we're going in the 21st century.
You got that right. Yeah. Hey, before we get too far downrange, I know what you meant, and I'm sure Repeat does too, when you were talking about one of the advantages of Fallon was the lower bingo. Can you just what the hell does that mean?
Sure. Bingo fuel is basically a fuel state that you get to that determines whether you can, you hit it, you have a number that says, when I hit this number of fuel state in pounds, typically for us, it was really low. I think it was like 1.5 pounds of gas. You hit a point where once you'd fight and you'd get this, you get to your fuel state. And that was like, okay, you have to leave now so you can get back to the base with the minimum required fuel on deck, which was 1,000 pounds.
Is it important to bring your airplane back in one piece at the end of the day?
It is. And let's just say when we were in San Diego doing this, we would leave with thousands of pounds more because we were 100 miles off the coast over the Pacific, for example. Yeah. Whereas in Fallon, we could be doing our same dogfighting syllabus, whatever hop it was, and we could see, just like in Yuma, right? You could just see the field.
Yeah,
so
it was over there. You could always see it. It was kind of nice.
Like I could literally dead engine glide to this place if I needed to. But you would fight to this number. It was SOP or standard operating procedure. When you hit that number, you knocked it off. Say, hey, everything's over. I'm going home. We'll see you on deck, and you would land. So that's what bingo fuel is.
Thank you, Sticks. Sticks just put the
definition on our
definition
screen.
right there on the screen.
Wow, that's like. Is he an Air Force guy? Because that's
Yeah, he's our Coast Guard
He's our
helicopter guy.
coastie.
But he's got a giant. He's got a giant brain underneath that big
All I know is
helmet.
All I know is the fuel would go and it would be like, ding. I'm like, oh, I have to go. And it would land, like,
Yeah.
safe.
Point the nose home and go.
Yeah.
There have been many times, I'm sure, not just me, Fig, that you have pushed bingo. Like, I got one more. I have to do one more thing, and you're like, okay, I got to get home, and you're going home, and then everything goes to shit. Like more people are coming in. Approach is like, hey, vectoring you off. I'm like, nope, can't do it. We have to go straight now. And there's been stories of people that I know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not you, but somebody you know.
500 pounds of gas.
Whoa.
I did it on Trip Swing. I think I told it on this show at one point in time. We were out in the chocolates bombing, and I hit bingo, and I called it, and he kept going. I'm like, well, he knows what he's doing.
He knows better.
Yeah.
He's a squadron. He's
We did like one more pass, and then pointed our way home, which cost me about 300 pounds. So I touched down with probably 400 or 500 pounds of gas left. He's like, what the hell you doing? Why are you that low?
Burning it,
So So
20 pounds an hour?
Yeah. Why didn't you tell me you were so low? I did.
Yeah, I did. And fortunately, the tape backed me up. Let's go to the videotape. So, hey, good evening, Chucker. I had a bit of a chat with him yesterday and today, so he's
awesome.
He's joining us as well. Yeah, watching
so
live
bizarre.
tonight. So
The tech is so much different. Property for sale. Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh
we,
yeah. Yeah.
the
Hey,
Zoom-
do you still
the Zoom
own
sucked,
any
but,
property in
That's my
Fallon
front
by
yard.
chance?
Oh my gosh, that's right.
No. That's your front yard?
Pretty much.
sage and
That's
scrub brush and
my-
cactus and tumbleweeds and is there a dead cow in the corner over there?
Hey, I thought we weren't talking about old stuff. I can talk about it.
You know,
Are you serious, guys? Man, okay, that resided in Middlegate, Nevada, the Middlegate corridor. I can talk about it if you want, because the limitations is so far gone that I don't.
You know, you've already covered livestock, and you know what? Maybe that's something we can review at the end. We haven't talked about killing livestock in a while. However, after seeing that picture of your front yard, basically, I have I had a great deal of respect for Tatiana anyway, but now she's on a completely other level that she put up with that shit.
I don't know how it happened. I think it had to do with the fact that we finally got into base housing, which was like literally right off the base at Fallon. So she knew that I could be at the club and like literally stumble, fucking knuckle drag my ass back to the house and not die. So I think that, and she was there a lot. She learned about a drink that I still cannot recreate. It's called the Jamaican leg spreader. We're gonna leave it at that. All I know is kind of yummy. The more you drank, the more you wanted it, and that was her favorite drink, the Jamaican leg spreader. Yeah, I still don't know.
Any idea what's in it?
There's some greenish shit and some I think some Jaeger and some other stuff.
Oh, boy,
it's a bad combination.
Oh boy,
that I know made her very happy, which made me very happy.
That's all that matters.
More,
right there.
More. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Say no more. Say no more. Know what I mean?
Know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
So, hey, I just thought of a question. When you were in VFC 111, so that was a Navy Reserve squadron, or was there active duty guys in there?
There were active duty guys. In fact, we had. I'm just bringing them up now because I love them to death. When we stood up VFC 111, it was in Key West. So we thought everybody's going to come to Key West. And it turned out that, man, it was really hard to get people to go to Key West just from a reserve standpoint. Airline guys commuting. It was kind of tough. I mean, if you weren't an American dude in Miami, it was kind of a multi-leg kind of a deal to get there. So, we had Marines that were transitioning to the Navy to become Navy reservists from the Marine Corps to join our forces in Key West. Right. One of which was a guy named Yort. And I love him to death. And he showed up, and one of his indoctrinational things into our squadron, we had a dining in or out. I can't remember what it is. The wives were there, but the CAG or the head dude, of the dining out was like, in order for him to be, we need to, you must do an amphibious assault into our regime, and we will welcome you accordingly. So Yort, who was initially in his dress blues for the function because we were all dressed up, basically went down to full commando Marine and ingressed with just basically his shoes and his skivvies into the place in this crazy amphibious assault, if you will, and took charge of the entire place and won over the entire crowd, especially the wives, because he was virtually naked. My wife still remembers it. God damn it! So he was our first Marine that we brought into VFC 111, and we had I think about 2 or 3. But Yort was one of our plank owners of the Marine Corps world into the VFC world of the Navy.
So Yort is short for something, or is it an acronym for something? That's his call sign, obviously.
That's his call sign, YORT. I don't know. I never asked him about that. That was his name, But a great man, and we did a lot of contract air services. He was on the ATAC side. I was on the Draken and TAC air side, and so we got to share a lot of things along the way. He's one of the only one of the few 1,000-hour patch wearers of the Hawker Hunter, which means he's fucking crazy, by the way, because that thing is retarded. But he survived that entire thing without incident, as you probably know through probably some of your discussions. I mean, Hawker Hunter flyers either made it or they didn't, and the guys that didn't that punched out are all. I mean, they're all fucked up. I mean,
Hawker Hunter is single engine tactical jet.
Single engine jet. I don't know where it comes from.
Well, it's a British jet.
British jet. And they used it to do.
Was it like a delta wing thing?
Kinda, not really. Yeah, sort of.
I'm guessing that Styx is working on it as we speak.
It's not the prettiest of airplanes. All I know is that thing.
Oh my gosh! Look at that. That doesn't look like
those guys flew those things in the craziest of places, to the craziest locations. To the point where we were like, okay, here's an example. So they were at Kadena.
That's uglier than an A6. Dear God.
It looks like a
So we had those guys, and I was in Guam at the time, and hey, ATAC's bringing some Hawker Hunters down to Guam. We're like, okay, cool. Well, I didn't realize that there were dudes that would fly from Kadena in a Hawker Hunter. I don't know how old is that, 1950 something, and they put a GPS 3, whatever that block, on top of their deal, and they would fly open water to Guam.
Yeah, a single seat, only with that little GPS.
Yeah, with the GPS, with the Garmin Pilot 3
sitting on the dash. Oh man!
Oh my God! Yeah. No HF, no real comms. I think they stopped in Iwo Jima as they went there, they landed in Guam. And I met up with my buddy Psycho and Bat Masterson. And anyway, they showed up. I'm like, how did you guys get? Oh, we just did this. Yeah, we flew from here to here. I'm like, in that? I mean, you remember, wasn't there like a boat that sank and like everybody got eaten by sharks? I mean, he's freaking crazy.
Yeah.
They did all that shit. And I was like, yeah, nope. I wouldn't even take, I took the A4 out over a couple hundred miles over the ocean to do work with the Marines at night on goggles, and I'm like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever done. I'm looking at San Diego on my goggles 200 miles away, and I'm like, I hope to God nothing happens, because I will never be found.
No,
it's a big ocean, and you are a small basketball-sized floating object.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I know the seat's good. I think everything's good. So after that, I was like, nope, I'm just going to stick with CAS. And I'm going to do lines for my brother Marines and sister Marines at 29 Palms and Cherry Point, and that's it.
Nice.
We kind of segued into this really fast. So let's back up and
back up. Let's back up.
Let's back up.
Let's back that truck up.
So what you're talking about is being a civilian pilot working for working for a company that has a government contract.
Yeah, basically, we call it CAS. Ironically, same name, same acronym, but it stood for Contract Air Services. And there's a few of them. right? There's ATAC and TAC Air and
Yeah.
Jock.
So can you just give our listeners an idea of what kind of services we're talking about? What kind of?
So these companies did everything from like way like high end, like big brain beeps and squeaks, doctrine level, tactical development, training and training plans and stuff, all the way down to testing evaluation to a degree, and actually operationally providing aircraft as red air, as the bad guy, and we would oppose, these companies would oppose Blue Forces, our DoD brothers and sisters that are active duty, and we would be blips on a scope to do maneuvers and provide them training. And the concept was really that an A4 or an F5 or whatever that costs couple $1,000 an hour to run is a lot cheaper than putting a Hornet F-35 or whatever that's $15,000, $25,000, $30,000 an hour to run.
Yeah.
So hey, we're a lot cheaper. We can do the same sort of thing. So they took advantage of that, and we would augment large force exercises or air wing events for the Navy, and be part of the package, if you will, that would oppose their mission. And so we would do that in whatever form they wanted. Hey, today you're simulating this type of aircraft, it's this type of country, you're going to go do this thing, and this is what we want to do, but your mission is to defend the motherland, and you're going to use your doctrine, which we have obviously known and studied, and
Oh shit, he locked up.
so that they can get appropriate training.
Yep.
So all the companies kind of do the same sort of thing. We all just have different kinds of airplanes, and for me, we did it in A4s, L159s, Mirage F1s, South African Cheetahs, and now I've been out of it, but now they've got F-16s in the mix, and there's some companies that like bought Hornets. I mean, so there's all these people trying to provide this service. So that's what the contract air services do, and it's everything. And Draken was significant in the sense that we provided not only air to air, but we would do air to ground support for the JTACs and the ground guys learning how to call in effects and fires for ground forces. And so we would provide air to ground services for them. And nothing could be further from more than miraculous or I don't even know what the word is. Here I am, I'm in my 50s, I've retired from the Navy, and I'm still flying a tactical aircraft that's wired for bear, and I am carrying bombs that I'm going to drop live in a bombing range for the Marine Corps so they can get training, and we're like these civilian dudes. It's just kind of crazy.
When you put it like that, it's absolutely insane. But
yeah,
I mean, it's also very cool.
And the guys that I worked with,
you.
I mean, I was blessed to work with a small cadre of Marines, Goldwingers that did casts, and I did casts with the Guard, and as well as in the Tomcat. But there's that. Yep, I've flown that girl, and we did it as, I guess, civilians. It was just, and as you're sitting there in the stack, writing down your 9-line and getting all your information to go in, time on target and what, you're ready to go, you couldn't help but chuckle at the fact that I can't believe I'm doing this still. I'm not even in the Navy anymore, man. And rolling in. Here we go. I'm in hot. You're clear hot. Boop.
I know. Well, there's several of you guys that I would run into from time to time that were still doing that, and I thought to myself, "Good God!" I mean, if I did that, I feel like my whole body was broken when I'd climb out of the jet. The thought of me pulling 7 or 8 Gs right now makes my whole body hurt and my bones hurt.
And it was a treat. It was a hoot. I can't tell you how heartwarming it is to still be able to provide service to our Marines, at least for me, and we had Marines and SEALs and FAL, and we provided the service, and to do it well and do what they wanted. And at the end of the day, when you debriefed, you kind of went back and like, dude, thank you so much. It was great. They saw what we needed to see. Hey, tomorrow let's do this. I mean, it was just so heartwarming to do because you know that you're bringing people up to speed that are going to need this shit later.
All right.
You know, and,
So you,
Yeah.
still there's a bunch
sounds-
of old farts still doing this well. You know.
So listen, you make it sound very romantic, but let's break this down a little bit. What's a day in the life of a contract pilot that works for a company that does the CAS, the contract air services? What's a day in the life of that look like? Because you probably don't live where those airplanes are parked, right?
No,
So you gotta
no,
get-
absolutely.
So
My
walk us through what would that look like?
Okay. I worked with guys, and I know you only want call signs: Magua, Muddy, Joey, Marines.
Magua. We talked about Magua last week.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
so
actually,
we
2
know
weeks
Magua,
ago now.
a great American and a Marine that did a lot of great work that could like literally gonkulate whatever delivery in his head. So if we're doing 30-degree head of, yeah, so we'll start at 2.3. Listen, so we'll start 4.2 seconds later. That sound good to you? I'm like, yeah, Magua, that sounds great. I'll just roll in after you. But so we had these great, amazing dudes that I got to fly with. Day in the life. For a contract air service, let's call it Yuma. We're going to 29 Palms as a mission set for the week. We're going to work with 4th Mardiv or 11th Marines, or in Fallon, we're going to work with the SEALs in their training process, and we show up. Okay, great. So we get the training, and we get the brief, and here we go. And we're going to, so we're either at we're civilians, so we're going to be at Millionaire Aviation at Yuma. Sweet. Or we're going to be at some weird ass hangar out in Fallon. But either way, we've got the clearances to do so, and we brief, and we've got a crew that's dropped that for the most part. They've gotten the GBUs now, but at the time it was just Blue Death, the BDU 45s. I'm trying to make this English. Training bombs that have basically an impact trigger that has smoke, so you can see where that is. But we drop bombs, and so we have them load those up. And for the A4, we would carry 6-ish, if not more, on our centerline Murtaugh and get that done. But our fuel allowed us to do a lot of different deliveries. So there's Type 1 through Type 3, as I know you know. So we would have conventional deliveries as well as simulated laser guided deliveries, things of that nature. But we could stay out there for a couple hours, so it was actually pretty cool. So we would go and fly to 29 Palms, check in, and become a part of the stack. And we could have everything from skids coming in and working off-axis stuff. Either way, we go, we check in, we get our assignment, and they would tell us, hey, this is what you're going to do. I want a Type 1 delivery of this, that, and the other. And they would talk us onto a target. We'd see it. We'd say, we would confirm that we have it. And then they'd say our time on target is this. And we'd say, okay. And so we would do, basically, our job was to do what they asked for. They wanted effects and fires, English. They wanted us to drop a bomb at a certain time on a certain thing, and we had the experience because of our previous life to go. I know exactly what that is, and they would basically go. They would give you an area talk on, if you will, and they say, "Hey, do you see like the weird crossing streets of whatever? You can't miss it. There's only 2 roads. Yeah, I see that. Okay, go. Here's your unit of measure to this. Go here and there." Basically, they would talk you onto the target, and you'd confirm that you have it. And they would tell you, hey, at this time, drop a bomb on it. So that's what we do. And we do that multiple times. We always go out there in a 2-ship or a section in some way and provide this service and do that until we ran out of bombs. And then when we ran out of gas, we would go. And at the end of the day, typically, the Marines are great because they were like, hey, before you leave, we just want to make sure you're safe. Can we give you a panel check, before you go? We're like, sure. And so we would do what you saw in the video and make sure that our aircraft is okay. Technically, it was a safety issue that we had to do, and we just did it fast and low.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so they could see that the panels were all
absolutely.
airplane.
They had to see the panels, so we had to be at 200 feet, and
He's locked
we
up
go
again.
back to Yuma, land at the FBO park, and then we would debrief them real quick, and then we would do it again the next day. And they had a syllabus that they would do, that they would get their guys spun up with, and we would just do whatever they said. Probably one of the most rewarding things I've ever done.
You're talking one sortie a day? One?
Yeah, and sorry, John Hall, panel check. A panel check technically is a flyover of the ground troops, so they could look at you and go, "Yep, all of your panels are on. You're not hanging anything. Okay, and you're good to go. You haven't like fucked up your airplane." Really.
Of course, it's very accurate because you're going by at such a slow speed that there's no doubt they'll be able to see that,
like
right?
210 knots and 300 feet. We would just make sure they can see it. They can bring out the binoculars. Like, yep, your aircraft is okay.
That's exactly how fast it looked like you were going in that video, by the way.
Yeah, realistically, and the A4 was great because it was an F-16 HUD and the thing. So we, standard stuff. I mean, you basically just got down to, I don't know, 10, 20 feet and as fast as you could go because they just wanted the sand kicked up in the face, and it was just the show. And we would just do as best we could to go as low and fast as possible. And there's nothing more than a bunch of Marines just loving every aspect of that to go home and talk about it, So, and that's how the videos came to us and things of that nature. So it was wonderful. But technically, it was 250 knots and 300 feet. Don't make any mistake. That's what that was. Your parallax is other things.
Someone just sped up the film there. That's all that was. Zoomed in.
Pretty much.
Hey,
your daughter trying to get you in trouble. Yeah, we got we got someone here who has some questions. May know about you,
dude.
Ridiculous landings in the Tomcat in New Zealand.
This guy. Okay, listen. I know this guy. He's like MI6 stuff. I don't know if I can even talk to him right now.
Well, he wants to know about some ridiculous landings in the Tomcat in New Zealand and the F5 tire issues and bags in the back seat.
Jesus Christ, Poi. What the hell are you bringing up, dude?
But he's only at word.
Okay. His mind has shifted over the years. I have not done any Tomcat landings in New Zealand. As far as the F5 goes, Key West was kind of crazy because the runways are made out of coral, and so it's a very cyclical. As one of our pilots, Sleepy Thompson I think he was from Mississippi, he had some great language, and he's like, when you go down to Key West, it's kind of slickery. You can't get no gription. We don't have we don't have any anti-stop stuff, so we got to be really careful when we get down on those ghost stoppers. You know what I'm saying? and as we're sitting in the rig going, so don't go fat, easy on the brakes. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. And we would land in Key West, and it got to the point where we're watching guys going all over the place. So we didn't have any F5, and we do now. I mean, the new F5s have anti-skid and all that kind of stuff. But at the time we were getting there, I've seen Norm Wiseman do like a full 360 on the runway. We're like, Jesus Christ. He's still going straight. Okay, good. He's not going to die. I mean, it was just because those coral runways were really slippery. So I'm wondering what Poi is getting to, other than they were sketchy with regards to landing on wet runways. And so we had an SOP-ish kind of a thing where it's like, hey, dude, if it's forecasted to be dumping shit, we're probably not going to go because we're just not good enough to obviously deal with like standing water. And Key West wasn't like Randolph where it was like grooved runways. It was just freaking coral. You know what I mean? So
yes,
it was slickery.
It was slickery.
Here you guys would be like, yeah, fuck it. Fine. But for us, we're like,
slow landing.
It's much safer.
Yeah, we'd do a slow landing. We'd land at like 40 knots, and then who cares, right?
Yeah.
Stop. Look, I don't.
It's safer to stop and land than land and stop.
The tech
Get on the ghost stoppers.
What the
Who
hell?
are you people?
That does not look like Kemo that much. I mean, not that much.
We have gone from I didn't even know this was a video thing on video one to now there's all this connectivity and people talking.
Hey,
oh yeah, people are watching us live stream on YouTube and such, and
yeah.
Rumble. Although the Rumble right now says "Live Lawman," so
yeah.
Danielle St. John. We'll talk later, Poi. Jesus Christ! Here. I have something to say. There you go. There's my grandson. There you go.
All right. Oh, I see. He's he's flying the bird. That's awesome.
Just a quick thing. I was like, that kid's going to be a fighter pilot. We're good to go.
Yeah, you damn right he is. He's like, hey, watch this.
Dude, I have just been talking to you. So have I been staying on track, or am I supposed to go somewhere? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no. These are good. The
Okay, so here's I got a couple questions fired up, but it's hard to get them in when you're going. I don't want to stop you when you're going,
Right.
You know what?
it's
It's all good,
like
brother.
did the Germans bomb Pearl Harbor? And we're like, no, man, just let him go. He's on a roll.
exactly.
All right.
All right,
What
so
do you got, Fig? Tell me.
yeah, all right. So
Tell
here's
me.
what I got. So you're down in Key West, and hold on a second. So the Key West is not. Did you do Draken ever out of Key West?
I did do no, I did TAC Air, which is another company out of Key
Okay.
West.
Okay. So, let's narrow this down a little bit. How
Okay.
many different contracting companies did you work for over the span of your?
Only two. I mean, I would love to say, if you talk about Kemo does everything. Yeah, he's always doing something else.
Well, you were always doing something else. It seems like.
But really, no. I mean, I started with a company called Draken International, and only because Snort Snodgrass, an old skipper of mine, was chief pilot there. And he's like, hey, man, I need some Goldwingers to come up. Come on, do this stuff. I'm like, okay, I'll do that, boss, because you're there, so I'll fly with you.
Yeah.
And that's where I got into the A4 and the L159. I primarily flew the A4 over time and did air-to-ground stuff with the Marines and the Goldwingers for those contracts. And then they, you're only as good as your next contract. And so they lost a bunch of stuff. And next thing you know, they went they went somewhere else, and they didn't have the CAS contract anymore, the close air support contract anymore. So I was like, well, and it was kind of funny. They're like, hey, so we've lost the contract. We need you to come back to Nellis so you can do red flag. And I'm like, that's not happening. I'm not doing red flag for you. Why? Because it is the biggest ass pain known to man. The Air Force guys, it's kind of funny. All my Air Force brothers out there, hey, love you. Not really, because they loved this whole concept of flying.
He's just kidding. No, he's not.
500 chip kind of thing
Right.
over Nellis or Nevada.
He's not kidding.
And then they would come back and spend hours like validating stuff. And it's just like, dear God, here's my card. You killed me. Wait, do I need to sit here for another?
I know,
3
right?
hours?
All you wanted to do was, hey, okay,
I just
I was here, I
wanted to
did this,
know.
Let me
and
go
then
home.
leave,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I'm like, I'm done. I died. You said ComX, fights on. Okay. Hey, Bandit 1, you're dead. Roger that. That was like 30 seconds into it. Fuck, I'll go home. But I was expecting to stay like 5 more hours, I'm like, whoop. So anyways, I was like, yeah, not going to happen. So I left Draken once we lost our close air support contracts, and met up and hooked up with some of the TAC Air guys, which are F5 dudes, primarily out of Fallon and Key West. And I was like, well, that's my old home. So they brought me in. I already had a type rating on the jet, so it didn't cost a lot. And so they brought me in, and I got to fly with them for a while. And that role was more Navy specific. So that was fun.
Okay.
And that was good. But again, it was, contract air services is kind of like a really high-end escort service, And it's kind of like, you look good, nice tits. You come with me, meet Bulgrave. Augustine, he likes you. You work with him. I'm like, do I have to suck his dick? No, but maybe. And so it was one of those things like, okay, I'll try. You keep looking to put more makeup, more pretty, and you go. And it's like, okay, I'll do this. And so that's kind of how contract air services is.
All right. Okay.
Contract air services, like high-end escort service.
Yes. Yeah.
That's kinda how
Like
it is.
like high-end escort. Yes. Okay. But
and we do good
well-
work. Hey, don't judge me for what I do. I'm proud of my job, Fig. Okay.
Yes.
I enjoy the fact that I can provide a service. Okay.
yes.
Christ.
Like
Wrong with
yes.
that?
Yes, like high-end escort
Yeah,
service.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm
Sounds like
just
you were
saying.
worried about having to provide extra service there.
Look, I was afraid we weren't going to come up with a title for this episode, but I don't think there's any chance we're not going to come up with a title now.
Oh no, yeah. Well, it's between that and you could hear your children getting dumber.
Hey, it's probably better now. I mean, this is like the mid-90s.
Yeah. Oh, are you sure?
Old.
It is a whole lot better now. I mean, it is a whole lot better now. I mean,
Dude,
think
they-
about
they
it.
Have, They have a Starbucks there. There's a Walmart. You know, there's like a Holiday Inn Express. I mean, there's some shit going down. No longer is there just pigs in space night. And the bird farm, and you know the bird farm.
Yes, hold on a second. Okay, I got to write this down real quick because I want to go back real quick before we get too far down range. Because you go fast. I don't know if you realize this or not, but you travel at 480 knots constantly, and I'm just trying
That's
to write.
like standard. Yeah.
Okay, so let's back up a second. You mentioned being in support of red flag, not good. There's good and not good. This is not good because you're required to be, in a debrief and wait for all this certifications. Right.
Sure.
So let me ask this. I'm guessing, as a pilot, as a contract pilot, you're kind of like an hourly employee, or I mean, how does this work? You get paid by the flight hour. You get paid by the day. I mean, how does that work?
Yes, is the best answer I can give you. Some places pay by the day. Some places pay for the hour, and that's where it got into those like, hey, if you want me to be here for like the 4-hour shot valve debrief, I'll do it, but you're gonna pay me.
Now it's sounding more and more like high-end escort service.
We paid you for your 2 hours of flying, but expect that you do this. I'm like, no, not really. And listen, at the end of the day, we can have that selfish thing. We obviously, all of us, regardless of our issues with pay and whatnot, want to make sure that the boys and girls that are on the other side of this whole thing get the best training possible, and we're there for that. So please understand that that's what we're there for. On the other side of that, though, you're sitting there going, dude, if you're not going to pay my ass for the next 4 hours, why the fuck am I here?
Right.
That's kind of an issue. So it's like there's this balance of how do you want to do this to compensate contract dues to do this, because you're kind of like going, hey, so we just paid you for your 1.8 flight hour thing of flying this mission, but now you got to stay for another 5 hours. And it's like, that's kind of tough to swallow. But at the same time, our at the end of the day, we still have our soul of service and making sure that our brethren have what they need to continue and succeed and excel and seek excellence. So, we do it. We did it anyway, but we were still like, I guess we're not getting paid. But so it's
no ticket, no entry. Hey, I gotta go.
You kind of get into the airline pilot world, like, well, dude, I'm only getting paid for this. You're gonna pay me to do this. Well, I'm not getting paid for that. I'm not fucking doing it, right? So there's that.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
well, I mean,
or you have the whole, in my soul, I need to be here so that these people get what they need so they can excel and be better as they go downrange.
Right.
And so we stay. And at the end of the day, that's not going to be a factor in front of them. They will never know. And when we get back to the ready room or whatever it is at our place, that's when we'll bitch about it. So there's nothing that would ever show from a contract dude to go into a place like that and do a debrief and have them be like, I shouldn't fucking be here. This is bullshit.
Yeah, fuck you guys. You're not paying me. I'm out.
Would never happen. We go, we do the thing, we sit there. It's like, you know what? At the end of the day, this is what's important. But at the end of the day, we're still going to address this.
All right. Now here's another question I have. Contract these contract services, and I'm only going to make an assumption. I want you to straighten me out. The maintenance, the guys that maintain the airplanes, they were probably former military guys that kind of took care of those kind of airplanes anyway, so they had some expertise.
Yep.
What was the safety culture? Were you ever concerned about, would the ejection seat work? Was the airplane safe? Talk to us about that.
So there's one thing that I will say. When they like with Draken, for example, they were they were at 11 when it came to the expectation of the United States Air Force. I mean, you can expect the Air Force and their programs and their rack and stack of all the documentation and the maintenance, this, that, and the other. Dude, it was legit. I mean, you sit there, you're like, I'm going into an A4 Skyhawk and I'm going to go do some shit and come back. And not once did I ever worry about the maintenance of the aircraft, because the guys that were there were at that level. Air Force, Navy, Marine Corps didn't matter. The regulations and the policies were there, and they maintained them. Yeah, it was. What did shit break? Absolutely, because it's an old fucking airplane. But
Well, yeah, and you're horsing it around, but that happens with all machines.
Absolutely. So shit breaks, right? But I never was concerned about the people that worked with me. I loved all of them, and they were I don't know if it's because they were civilian at this point, but it was like. It was tighter than it was ever in the active duty military because the military. Hello, sir.
You guys were probably on a first name basis with everybody, and you were high fiving, and right?
Yeah, I mean, when
That's
I was at Yuma doing close air support with the Marine Corps, we had 4 dudes there, or 5, 6 dudes, and we knew everybody. We would, we drank together, we hung out together, we took care of each other. It was a family, and so there was never a concern of flying aircraft or being concerned about the safety or the maintainability or the overall effectability of the airplane. So I knew these guys would take care of it. Shit just broke. And usually for the A4, as you probably all know, because we flew the A4 all together in the training command. Yeah. What happens? What's the worst thing that can happen? You pull the rat and you go home, right? I mean, never was like, hey, so if you get an engine failure here, I mean, shit was solid, So it was never a concern with that. I never, especially as a contract guy, if there was ever a time they'd be like, I'm not flying that thing because that's fucking crazy. Never occurred to me in my time with the F5 or the A4, the L159 at Draken or TAC Air or any of the contractor services. Those guys have been fucking great. And I loved every one of them because I think it was more personal, because it wasn't military anymore. So we could hang out. It's like at the end of the day, we'd be in the hangar or in the freaking thing at Millionaire and we'd bring it in. I'd break up the beer. We'd all go, me and Ma go to go, or whoever, we'd go buy booze and we would just drink and debrief and talk about shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was really tight. And I really enjoyed that aspect of my time there. The biggest thing the reason why I left was only because of time. I mean, because in my life before, you could always do those things as a reservist or whatever and have military leave and have things compensated in your time. But when you did contract air services and you're retired, you did it all in your time off. So it got to a point where like, wow, I'm flying like 10, 12 days. I'm flying 10, 12 days a month.
Yeah, so your days off were actually more work days. Yeah. And so then you ended up with no days off.
Yeah, so I'm never home. So I'm like, well, shit.
I get it.
I should probably, and so I got to the point where like, I should probably at least make sure my wife knows what my face looks like. Then, because there's like, she's got the face of like Armando or, whoever else it is that comes over. But
pool boy, the pool guy.
Yeah.
Raphael.
Jesus Christ. So that's kind of where it got to me where I was like, dude, I just need to be home. I want to be home and just make sure that I'm there. So she actually remembers that I'm the dude she married,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so you made reference, it seems like an hour and a half ago, but it was probably like 6 minutes ago, to a term, and I want you to cover the what did you?
What are you trying to say?
Nothing.
You
I'm
talk
just
faster
saying.
than me, Marie.
No.
Slow. Your small head. You talk. You like 7. You're like, what the fuck did you just say?
Slow the fuck down for a second.
Okay.
Idle.
I'm here. I'm
idle.
Right. Yeah. You're in.
God. Bless America. Okay.
You're in the wires. Idle.
Hey, speaking in the wires, in the background, over your right shoulder. Well, over your right shoulder, yeah.
Your other right
There's
shoulder,
a tail hook leaning up against the wall. Is that an A4 tail hook?
Yeah, that's my tail hook from Kingsville, Texas.
Nice.
Right there.
Well, check this out. Hold on. Can you see? Hold on. Check this out. Do you see?
Bunch of government property.
Do you
thieves
see that hanging right there?
A weird room. Is there? I saw this in a horror movie. What?
Do you
I
see
see it now. Okay, good. Yeah.
That's my tail hook.
Right on. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a good story behind that.
I was at Kingsville, and when we landed back, we went to Key West or did whatever, and we came back, and like there was this truck full of hooks, that they had to toss, and they were going to make them like, posts for admirals' fences at base housing or whatever, and like, hey, sir, you want your tail hook? Because we just brought them back, and ironically, this one's yours. And I was like, what? Yeah. So me and like 4 other dudes, we just grabbed them and put them in the back of the truck, and I've had it ever since. And it's just one of those things.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's one I have not gotten my hands on yet, but I didn't think to do it while I was active because that's the thing. You're active duty around that stuff all the time.
So,
It's junk. You don't realize you're going to want it.
Well,
for
here we
your
go.
fighter bar.
He's on the move.
So there's my F-14 tail hook.
The hook itself.
The hook point.
Yeah, like the actual
The hook point.
Because the A4 was like the whole thing, but
it's all one piece.
Had that thing. So when it went to X amount of whatever.
Yeah. Once it had so many cycles, or it was ground down so much that they take it off.
When I called on the Tomcat, they're like, "Sir, would you like your tail hook tip?" I was like, "What?" And they kind of like, "We have yours if you want it." I'm like, "Give it to me." So. Yeah, so I've been fortunate to have that. So.
All right, so we got a little off. So here's a term that you threw out, and I would like for you.
Why?
I would like for you to describe this.
I'll describe it for you, baby.
Because I know what you're talking about, but some of our listeners are like not following. So
not military aviators.
Well, yeah. Well, so you said something about pigs in space.
That's not aviation.
It's from the Muppet Show.
I know. Hold on. So so can you please? What was that in reference to? Because I just don't know.
I'm so glad my wife is nowhere near any type of electronic device right now.
Right.
So pigs in space, along with the bird farm, is a Fallon thing. And before Fallon became the mecca of tactical aviation, known as Top Gun and blah, 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 it was a place that we went and landed and dropped bombs and did shit. It was cool stuff. And there were like whorehouses that had like $1 pitchers, and we would have all officer meetings there because it was cheap.
Yeah.
It was great. So there was this place, and I don't remember what the hell, I don't know the name of the actual institution, but it was a casino. And every Tuesday night, I think it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
It was either Tuesday or Thursday, but I'm going to go with Tuesday. Every Tuesday, for however it generated and developed over time through our legacy of naval aviation and Gold Wing, esprit de corps and yada, 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 it became known as Pigs in Space. And the whole concept of Pigs in Space is you would go to this casino.
Yeah.
And it wasn't good. It's
was
but
horrible.
The whole aspect was like, you know what? It's kind of like Guam. It's like, hey, what's Guam like? Well, it's kind of like a dummy map. You know what? If you lower your standards really low, it's a really good place. So if you do that to this casino, it's fucking awesome. So we would go to this place, and it was a place where young ladies would just arrive and present themselves to the cadre of professionals that were there to basically administer chips and things of that nature for the craps table or the blackjack table or whatever. Okay, so it was a wonderful experience because we got to meet people and we got to say hi and we got to know, hey, you're an Aries. Oh, you're a Sagittarius. That's great. Let's play cards. Not really.
Nice.
So it was a great
cards.
place. You basically met a bunch of bitches, and they were there looking to go, and they were waiting because every Tuesday they knew that all these aviators were going to show up, freaking casino, whatever that was,
and put their bear goggles on.
Sticks put up that.
They were not the Pahrump, J.R. Carrington kind of like hotness porn level. It was kind of like, hey, how you doing? I'm Sylvie. Yeah. Oh, you're good looking. You want me to look at my titty. Look, I got one titty, but the other one, we cut this one off, but this was good. That whole thing. That's Pigs in Space. And over time, usually at the end of the night, you're watching the JO, the Junior Officer Squadron. You're like, should we save him? And usually it was like, no.
No, let him go.
Right.
Let him go.
You would watch him go up with the one-titted, toothless Sylvia person to the truck. And there was a point when you woke up like the next morning at 10 going, fuck, should we have helped him out? I hope he's alive. You know what I mean?
I hope he's okay. Right.
That is Pigs in Space in kind of a nutshell.
Well, I have to tell you, it triggered. I didn't know.
Are you triggered, Fig?
Well, I'm triggered because I didn't know if you were.
You?
I didn't know. I did. So on Wednesday nights. Well, so first of all, we El Centro, NAF El Centro, right?
Hell yeah! Oh,
So
place where you hung up the panties in the bar and the bra.
spend a little time there, and on Wednesday, so there was a prison off the west end, 5 miles off the west end of the runway.
Yeah.
And if they were landing east for some reason, you would report slammer for the break, right? Because that was a 5 mile initial. Well, on Wednesday nights was ladies' night at the club there at El Centro, and all of the federal security guards that worked at the prison, female, would come to El Centro because they had an ID card they could get on base. And so we called Wednesday nights Pigs in Space Night because these were all really
Aggressive.
no, just very heavy set, very solid correctional facility workers.
Julie, why do you have this stick? Why are you heading? What is this stick thing?
I know. So when you said pigs in space, I thought that's where you were going, but I just wanted you to go there because I knew it was going to be good no matter what.
I can't tell you. I mean, dude, it was just you couldn't buy a ticket. You just to watch. Just like, I'd like to have an observer pass, please, and you would just literally like blow your mind. I mean, in Fallon, Nevada, population at the time, I don't know, 10,000. I mean.
That might be liberal.
That was liberal. I mean, dude, it was.
There it is. Hey, does that look familiar?
It's got a picture up there, and
where do you find this shit? As we're
that's our producers there. That's Bag Sticks coming up with these amazing pictures on time.
We found
there is
so
something I can
picture
hide.
of the nugget.
At least I know that you know that I'm not fucking bullshitting you because you're pulling up stuff. I'm like, oh, that's the one trigger. Oh.
Right.
I'm just glad I never saw you or Fig there at the same time because Lord knows what y'all are. How you doing? You sure are pretty.
How you doing?
Why they call you Fig? Fig?
Why they call you Fig, Newton? What's going on? Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, right?
Oh, you taste so good.
Thank you.
My teeth.
Now,
yeah,
I have a
Badass
serious
is with us tonight. He comments on Toby's a Fallon. I don't remember Toby's. Do you?
I don't remember either.
Toby's. Well, you
But
were
if
the bird
Badass,
farm, right? You were
if
the bird
Badass is commenting on it, he obviously knows what Toby's a Fallon is. Hey, all right. So I have kind of a serious question. Actually, they're all serious. Damn it.
They're not serious at all, Fig.
Well, they're all serious, and so
Go.
how many hours? Do you know? Just give me a ballpark. How many hours of flying did you have as a contract air services guy in tactical jets?
That I don't know. So it's different. I mean, yeah. So I had about 800 hours in the A4.
That's a lot, dude.
Yeah, I think so. When you look at sortie rate, right, and you're like going, okay, I'm flying like an hour at a time or 2 hours at a time.
Yeah.
I flew a bunch. There's people who flew more than me. I mean, in the F5, I had. If I put in TAC Air with my active duty or my Navy time, I've got about 2,000-ish hours in the F5, which is crazy when you think about most of those sorties are like 0.8.
Right. That's a lot of getting in and getting out right there.
That's a whole lot of getting. And when we used to play back in the day, this is before the day of like 21st century. You got to make sure you account for shit. I mean, we would literally come back. I remember my buddies Paco and Grinder and some of the guys. We finished with a mission. And we would like be sitting in the room like, whoo, that was a long day. Whoo. Like, you want to do 1v1v1?
Fights on, bitches. Let's go.
Yeah.
Hey, fucker. Hey, SDO, squadron duty officer.
Thank
call
you.
me and see if they have any jets. And they call. And yeah, we got 3 jets. Hey, add them on. Can you add them on? Yeah, we'll add them on. Fuck it. And so it was like, ready to go. And so we would fly another hop, just like created on the flight schedule. I mean, for years we did that.
Okay.
Between my bestest of friends that were there, if we were there at the end of the day, we would literally be like, "You guys want to do one more?" And if you don't, I'm going to call you a pussy. You know, type of thing. So there's all this ego. So we'd launch, and there's like no rules, just Indian country, just we do this stuff. Bingo, fuel. We talked about it already. Back to the field. And so, so we would do that. We would fly 3 times a day easily because we would do that at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, and it wasn't like, hey, there might be a bit of like, hey, we need to get some time because we want to go to the airlines. But at the most part, we're like, fuck it. I mean, we're here. Let's go do it. And maintenance would be like, yeah, okay. It was like that simple. Now it's kind of like, hey, we'd like to fly another sortie. Well, we got to make sure that the and the thing and the deal. And like, okay, way too problematic. Never mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
so
that's right.
Our schedule in Fallon for when I was there as a active duty to the reservist kind of guy was like literally like guys could walk in. I remember Paco walking in and going, "Hey, motherfucker, you feeling lucky?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? You want to go?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go."
Yeah, we'll
And they
fucking
would
go.
pick up the phone going, "Hey, we got a couple jets." Okay, good. Hey, you got 5, I got 7. Let's go. Questions? Okay, let's do a quick, tactical thing. Okay.
Oh, come on.
Go.
Standard brief. Standard brief, the brief standard. Go.
Yeah. And I swear to this day, and everybody will call me a liar, but that whole Top Gun 2 Maverick thing where he's like, I've been here the whole time. Fight's on, old man. And they do this whole like thing. That is Paco and me like numerous times. Like those fuckers took our flight. They took our thing. That's our deal. That's like our magical moment, Paco and me, because we would look across the circle, and I vividly remember Paco looking at me like we're doing this death spiral fight, and he's like, ah, and I'm like, did you just flip me off, you fuck? I mean, it was like that's how. Yeah, that fucker right there. He's a little bit sexier now. You might need to like interview him because. He'll
get him on.
Get him on. But I shot him way more than he shot me.
We need contact information so we can confirm that this shit really went down.
Dude,
actually, no. We need contact information so he can refute all this shit you're laying out.
I will do so. I will give you this thing because I vividly remember flying with Paco in these death spirals where we were so close, well within training rules, doing what we do because we did so much. We did so much that we would press all the rules and do things that were like more practical, realistic. And I would remember looking across the circle from this guy across as we're doing these death spiral things to transition to the deck and not kill ourselves in the dirt. And we would just give each other so much shit. And Paco, that picture is that man right there is I'm not going to call him a mentor. He made me better.
We may have to have the two of you bastards on.
You know what?
Fun.
I'm
Congentially.
As soon as we get out the shit, I'm texting his ass right now because.
Right. Hold on. I don't need to. I put the phone down. There's too many distractions. I have a serious question. I need you to define for our listeners, especially the non-tactical listeners. You said 1v1v1. We do a 1v1v1. How the? What? What did you just say?
I'm giving the P3 guys just like, there's a bunch of P3 guys here because they're just all like they're sitting. The P3 guys are in the back of your video going, oh yeah, oh god.
We have a lot of listeners that are not aviators at all. They just love hearing stories.
I'm specifically talking about P3 guys. Okay. Jesus Christ! Listen to what I'm saying, Fig.
I'm sorry. You know what? You're absolutely right.
The non-aviators are cool.
You're absolutely right. Cool. God damn, he's right.
Those are the Forrest Gump retards of the fucking Navy. But that's okay. We'll talk about that later. Continue. I love all of you.
Hold on, I'm trying to get it.
I can't breathe.
Okay, I got it now.
I can't. Oh,
I just had a core. I had a core. I had a little bit of a core workout. God bless America. All right. You said, at the like 4 minutes ago, that seems like an hour and a half ago now. You said, hey, it's the end of the day. You want to go? You want to go? You want to go? You said 1v1v1.
Yeah.
Tell a non-tactical aviator what a 1v1v1 is and what does that look like?
Non-aviators. Do you want to know what it looks like?
Yeah.
This is what it looks like. Paco, who's by the way Jamaican and Italian, right? Basically walks into the ready room, unzips his flight suit, and like throws out his 10-foot cock and goes, what do you guys think? And we're like, Jesus Christ, Paco, can you put that away? What's the matter? You scared? No, I'm not scared. You want to go? I don't want to touch that fucking Lincoln log of a massive thing, but you know what? If you want to fight, I'll shoot your ass. All right, let's go. Let's go. You and you. Let's fucking do this shit. I'm like, can you put your penis away for just a second? Okay, thanks. Whew. Okay, cool. I will professionally fight you now. And that's what a 1v1 is. V1.
Okay.
V1.
1v1v1. So was it a 2v1? Like two guys teamed up
No,
on Paco?
no.
Or was it
Fuck
everybody's out for
baby.
himself?
We take off. However many planes take off, we go to an airspace, and we're just all kind of like in this line of breast formation, 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and we just fights on, bitches, and we go. Why is everybody laughing? This
Because-
is like legit shit.
Hold on.
Because there's
Hold
extra
on.
bago put up at that style.
drink
That's
more
the Jamaican
shit.
leg
Bago.
spreader.
Your
Who's
forehead
back?
is too shiny. What's going on here? I'm
Look
trying
at-
to tell you like legitimate
Oh my
stuff.
gosh. I don't know if that was Bago or Sticks, but I can't. I think I broke my sternum.
They put a banner up on the video that says that's so that's the
dude,
Jamaican leg
that's
spreader.
1v1v1. We
Oh.
know, hey, you ready to go? Paco, put your cock away for the love of God, and we'll go. Can I not see that for like 10 minutes?
All right.
Thank you. And we take
All right.
off, and we go to an airspace, and we look across, and there's 1 to 2 to 3 jets, or maybe 4, and we say, "Fights on, motherfucker."
Okay,
And
so do you go in 3 cardinal directions and come back at the merge and say
you
fights
do-
on?
Dude, it is called Indian country for a reason. You do what you need to do to survive. And at the end of the day, we go. And usually what we do at the first part, I hope Paco's listening, is we gang up on Paco because his dick is so big, and we fucking gun his shit. And so when you die, you have to separate from the fight for 30 seconds. So you
All
have to exit the fight, and then you can come back in. And you go, hey,
It's a reset. Yeah, it's like
two's in from here.
you get an extra life after 30 seconds.
And
Yeah.
so, and usually what happens is you're just lucky you're fucking alive. You're
Yeah.
literally lucky you're fucking alive because you come in and it's like, hey, 2 is dead, and the 30 seconds, hey, 2's back in, and all of a sudden you're like, do this, all of a sudden this plane comes in, you're like, Jesus Christ, and it's Paco or something, and you're like, get the fuck out of my way, I'm gonna shoot your ass again. But it's like it's a total.
Look at his hands.
You
Look
know
at his
when you-
hands.
You know when you like have like the Cuisinart, right? And you got like the juicer, and you're like, here's my carrot, here's
Yeah.
my potato, here's my
Yeah.
cucumber. Yeah. All that shit happens, but then they do it does again. You're like, I don't know what's going on, and they're gonna put some more shit in it. It's literally a compounded Cuisinart of shit, and
An aerial fur ball.
You just hope you don't hit each other. But at the end of the day, it ends up being a great evolution. And you come back, and there's more reason to do this, right?
Yes.
Because you're like, fuck, you almost killed me. I'm like, dude, I know. I mean, I almost like rolled in it, but then I like got your jet washed. I departed, and then here I went. But I came back into the fight, and then you were shooting that guy, but I shot you first, so you were fucked, Paco. You know what I mean? So. Dude, you bring me back. I want a Paco debate. It's like the Biden Trump thing. I'll be Trump with the red hair.
Oh my gosh.
Paco will be like the guy's like, I don't even remember what
So-
I said because I'm too fucking old. You know? I'll be like, yeah, you fucking idiots. And so it'd be a great thing.
So for our listeners who are not watching this live and don't watch the video, you are missing an incredible aerial
YouTube.
display with
Go
the
to YouTube and
hands.
join it at about 117 or
No,
about
dude.
117.
The hands flying through the air. Typical. It's like fighter pilots talking to you through a fight times 10 on steroids. It's amazing.
You know what it is? You guys bring out the passion in me for what I did for so long. And I mean that sincerely. Because
I love it.
When we
I
talk
love
about
it, dude.
Stories, I'm seeing Paco. I'm seeing whoever it was. I'm
Yeah.
seeing about the hammer of God, that fucker.
Yes.
When I
Yeah.
talked about it, and I'm like,
Yes.
oh yeah, here's
So-
my 1950s airplane gunning your ass. I mean, it's just, you bring out the passion in everything that I've ever done, and I appreciate it. So thank you.
Listen,
Sorry.
it's pure pleasure to listen and watch.
Absolutely.
For our listeners that only listen on the podcast, you are really missing 50% of the entertainment.
I'm missing
maybe 80% of the entertainment.
I'm missing you busting your sternum.
I mean, I think something popped right here. It fucking hurt. Okay, I have to say this. You triggered so many memories in anybody that's been in a tactical aviator in a single seat jet and had been in an aerial engagement. I know we've all been very close to our opponent, and at some point you're looking through the canopy at them and you see their kneeboard card. you know, and if their visors up, you can see the whites of their eyes, and so I was there when you were with Paco, and he's like giving you the bird or whatever. Like,
Dude,
are you fucking kidding me? Yeah.
That motherfucker. I mean, I love him
Because you don't want to give. You're fighting your buddy. You don't want to give an inch, because if you do, he's gonna have the advantage, and then you're gonna listen to the bullshit for the next 30 minutes, right?
And you will spend the rest of your days listening to him talk to you about how he kicked your ass, and you're like, motherfucker, that is not going to happen today. And Dan
Beaver Bevan, we got to get him on, because
there are more than the Pacos. There's Paco Grinder. I can give you more people, but Paco, to me, whenever we went out, he was a reservist as well. And I think it was because we were reservists. I don't know. We just said, you know what? Let's step this shit up to 12. I mean, let's just go. It goes to 10. Fuck it. Let's go to 12. Fuck training rules.
Skip 11, go to 12.
We've flown with each other for years. You want to break the bubble and go inside of 500 feet? I am totally cool in the gang with that. Go and let's make this shit happen. Because at the end of the day, we have this weird perspective in the sense of, if we ever went back, like it was like some strange, like James Bond, Sean Connery, everybody's dead. We need you to come back. Oh, you're the only one left. We wanted to make sure that we were still good to go.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how to put that in perspective, but we pushed each other so hard, and we tested each other so much, and to the point where it's like we would fight, and like, I always think about this, where we're so close. I sit there like, yeah, this would never happen normally because we are so fucking close. This is like so illegal, like, you know what I mean? But we did it, and it was perfect because we trusted each other to the point where we could do that, and we didn't need training rules to do it. And we would push these rules so far from what was required, expected, directed, and we did what we needed to do. And we knew we weren't going to kill each other. But at the end of the day, when we most did likely that, we most likely, and at the end of the day, when the outcome was, you know what, we did all that. And at the end of the day, for the most part, Paco and I were neutral, not offensive, defensive, whatever. It's like, you know what? Nice work.
We're going to see what Paco says about
We held our own. Yeah, and you know what? I hope I want to hear what Paco has to say, because at the end of the day, he lost his ass. Okay? but at the end of the day, I respect the man because he taught me so much. And he taught me so much that I was able to kick his ass. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've all had mentors like that, and it's pretty awesome.
Right, and you know what's cool about the mentor thing? It's like, you always think about the mentor being like, hey, Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's like this 92-year-old dude, this fucking pie man with a white fucking beard. No, we were peers, and we pushed each other, and that's where the mentoring comes into play. Where that is ultimate mentoring, when you have your peer, your brother that you fucking love, and he was able to kick your ass. Like, fuck, dude, how'd you do that? Oh, I did this thing. Fuck, it is so much.
And he told you what he did.
Oh yeah,
to make you better.
You bring Paco on without me, you fucker. I'll kill you for it. But if you do,
he's pointing at you, Repeat. He's not talking to me.
Ask him about the roller pirouette thing, because
no, I don't think I would have talked to Paco with it unless you're there.
He and we learned some shit, and it was amazing. And then people would be like, how'd you do that? How did you do this thing? And you're like, I don't know. I mean, I did this like cross control thing.
Well, you were probably wearing the airplane and making the airplane do what you thought it needed to do, and not really thinking about how you did it.
I was doing stuff that if you like technically thought about it, was like completely prohibited or whatever the fuck.
Sure.
Like, all I know is I did this, that thing went, whoop, and you're like, next thing you know, here I am. You know what I mean?
So you know what, I'm going to say that when you're doing stuff like that, and I can totally relate to that. You have become one with your machine.
Yeah, it's like putting on a fucking. It's like putting on a comfortable pair of jeans from like 5 years ago, and you're like, you put them on, and you're like, here I am, baby. There's nothing you can do to me because I've worn this shit for years. Let's go. And it's great. And when you take and for us, for Paco and me, because we're in the same squadron, you take a substandard 1950s era jet and you go and you engage with a Gen 4, Gen 5 kind of a threat, and you actually do some good work, it makes them go, what the fuck? It's like, yeah, that's
Right.
Baron von Richthofen, man. It's like, it's not the fucking quality and the size of the box. It all depends on who's sitting in it. You know, and
Yeah.
that's where our training comes into play. And you just want to make sure it's like, dude, it doesn't matter if you're flying a Raptor, a JSF, a Hornet, an L-159, a fucking Hawker Hunter. It's like, you know what? That Pogo Clark, he was my first mentor. Can I say this now? Baron von Richthofen.
Baron von Richthofen, there he is. Yep.
If you can allow me to say this, Pogo Clark, my first skipper in the Fleet Squadron, he was like 5'4". I don't even know. He never took his aircraft, at least through TCTS and the data that I've seen. I've never seen him go or exceed 6 Gs in an aircraft, and I've seen him destroy everything. And he was the first person to sit there and go like, it's not who the plane is, it's who you are. Fucking be who you need to be to destroy everything in front of you. And I thought to myself, and I'm 23.
That's Obi-Wan Kenobi shit right there.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
I'm
no, that's Yoda
okay,
shit.
but it is Yoda, Obi-Wan Kenobi shit. And I'm getting this at the age of 23 in my first experience in my Fleet Squadron. And this guy who was a Loach pilot, Army Cross fucking dude in Vietnam, to boss of the Blue Angels in the A4, to F-14, VF-31, F-14D skipper, to this guy. I mean, he was amazing to me, and I would just watch it. And he was the guy that'd be like, "Hey, we're finished on the mission. Let's go home. We're going back to San Diego." And all of a sudden, on tactical frequency, you hear, "How's your lookout doctrine, boys?" And you're like,
Uh-oh. Where is he? Where is he?
and next thing you know, it was literally like, here he comes. And you're like, Jesus Christ. And he would destroy you. And then you get to the debrief, you get in the ready room. So talk to me about how I kicked your ass. And you'd have to go through this evolution of how you thought you could, but then you didn't. And then he kicked you straight in the balls and your testicles went straight through the face. And you were done.
You know what that kind of
watched his video. He never exceeded 5 to 6 Gs, and I watched him do that with Top Gun guys and destroy everybody. I'm like, oh my god! So he was like Pogo Clark, Rat Willard, Whiskey Bond. I mean, I could name off all these fucking crazy names that you would see in like a movie. I had the blessing of having those guys teach me, and they were the guys that were like, I don't give a fuck what you do in this world as an officer, but if you can't fight this jet, you can't fly this airplane, you will go nowhere out of the squadron.
Yeah, you're worth
and I'm
nothing.
like,
You're worth nothing to
and
me.
as I look back, I'm like, that's leadership. That's the guys we want to take warriors into the next world. Fuck this OPR shit and everything else that we do. JPME. I mean, whatever the fuck is saying.
Hey, JPME, what does that mean, JPME?
You know
what is that?
Military
Hold on.
education.
What's your CEP rate? Are you shacking everything? Are you teaching guys to bring them in on target, do this kind of stuff, and your kill ratio is this, and you're teaching guys that? That's leadership, brother. And I want those guys in the front line. Fuck those dudes that are like, oh well, I went to JPME and I went.
Hold on. I need you back. Come back. Come back to me. Idle. All right.
Wires.
JPME. What? I don't think we've covered this. JPME. What is that?
My wife has big titties.
That's not what that means.
Oh, I'm sorry. JPME. Joint some shit military education. Basically,
How about joint professional military education?
So you fucking knew, Fig.
No, I wanted to hear you say, because you threw the acronym out, bro.
Well,
I
asked
wanted
him
you
for
to
it.
fight
You
it.
know, we asked for it
So
when you
there
asked
was
for
a- there
something
was a
like that.
time,
You
and
wanted to
now it
wander
is
down
now.
a rat hole with him.
To be a leader, an officer of leadership, you need to be able to do
Sure.
A, B, and C, and then as you
Sure, yeah. Blah, 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 blah. All that shit. We know, right?
You know what? Yeah.
How about this? See, but this is an important one because I don't think we've ever covered this before. This is really good. CEP. CEP.
Oh yeah.
That's an acronym I don't think we've covered, bro.
don't
What is
think we
CEP?
have.
It's called Shack or Nothing. What are you talking about?
But do you know what it means?
It's
Can you
called
define
bomb
it?
through the fucking door window of the car. What do you want?
The definition of it for our glossary.
Oh.
Can you give us the definition for the glossary? CEP.
No, you know it. What? I don't know it. Actually,
We've got
circular
listeners who don't know it.
elliptical,
Oh dear God!
circular
circular,
error
statistical,
probability,
correctness,
CEP.
probability.
Yeah. So when you dropped when you dropped bombs, you got a CEP score, circular, right?
Yep.
And so the guy with the lowest CEP score had bragging rights.
Right. Absolutely, because you wanted it as small as possible. Because
He's
that was
putting
the one
bombs
that
on
went,
target.
That's the
right,
one where
bombs
you
on
like
target.
when you rolled over and you saw the thing going like through the car door window. You're like,
Yeah.
dude, that was fucking amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you getting at, Fig? You were great. I know you're great. I'm not trying to tell you not.
No. It's not about me. It's about you tonight, bro. It's about you.
Dude.
And let me tell you, we've had an hour and 29 minutes of full fucking 480 knot, two twin blower fucking Kemo. And I knew it would be like this.
Well,
You were
know
like,
what?
I don't have
Bring me
anything to
into
talk
this, and
about.
What do you expect? I'm going to be that guy. You made me drink fucking liquor. I got shit. I got stuff.
We.
I don't know what to do.
Goose, we.
There you go.
Oh.
We actually need
Hey,
to
well-
land this airplane.
Hold on. I do have a serious question.
Wait,
I do have a
circular error. Who put that
Probability.
there? Is that you?
circular error
It's
problem.
either bag
Yeah.
or sticks.
It's bag
So
over
here-
sticks.
Hey,
Both
whoever
those
put that
guys are
down there,
used.
listen. Hey, that's the grease pencil on how many mils, and you said that, and you put the thing on the thing, and you go boop, and did it work or not?
As a spoken from a true fighter pilot. Yes, sir.
I'm
All right.
just saying. I'm not saying.
In your 1,000 hours, let's call it 1,000
Yes, sir.
hours as a CAS pilot. CAS, contract air services pilot,
Okay. Different.
flying
Yes,
tactical
that-
jets as a civilian.
That is
Did-
not my DP. What the
Did
fuck?
you ever have your hand on the ejection seat handle?
Never.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That is great. That's really great to hear.
Like I said, I was very proud, and I was very blessed with great maintainers that made our aircraft solid. I mean, I've only had to pull the rat a couple times, and that was just a generator failure. And I'd be like, oh, boop, pull the rat. Okay, there it is, and we go back home. I mean, I've never had a problem with. There was never a time where I was like, I hope to God this plane works.
Wow, God, he's fast. So there's a picture
Yes,
up of
yeah.
an A4,
Oh,
and you can see the rat.
A4.
The rat
There's
has
the rat.
came out of the little door. Rat stands for ram air turbine, and it's
Yeah.
got a little propeller that
Yeah.
spins in the wind and powers a little generator to give you electricity back. So you can
and it
use your
gives you enough
radio and shit like
it
that.
gives you enough
When your generator
Literally-
dies, you've got an air-driven generator.
Yeah, and I think
rat.
it gives
Rammer.
you enough electricity to kind of go. I can at least talk on the radios and get
Yeah,
home.
I can talk on the radio. I might be able to get my
Get
gear
a
down.
get a
that sort of shit.
PAR to get home.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay, he's on the move. Where are you going?
All right.
You're
Well,
outside.
we need to land this airplane. Is what we need to do.
Oh, I
then,
know what he's
because,
doing. He's gonna. Hey, listen.
I am fine. I know exactly what you guys are talking about, and I'm just saying that I'm here.
All right.
It's all good.
Hey, all right. Can you multitask?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, hey, it's so much better. The acoustics are so much better outside. You should have been outside the whole time. Hey, listen, Kemo, thank you. Thank you again for all your great stories and for your service, not only for your service to our country in the military, but hey, for your service to our service as a contractor.
I'm talking
Think about
to-
that.
I'm talking to some brothers that have done some shit, and I have loved you from the beginning of your whole blog. What do you want to call it? A blog? This
Podcast?
whole-
Podcast.
yeah, the podcast thing. I mean, it's a wonderful therapeutic. Why are you laughing?
Because
I'm
you're
trying
so.
to be sincere, Fig. Jesus
I know. I
He's
love
all
it. You're just. You took us with you the outside
over the
to
world.
water the
At least he
tree.
didn't
Now
take
you're
us to the
back.
head. Don't take us to
I'm
the
Christ.
head.
Just saying.
I know. I'm with you, bro. I love it.
And I'm telling you that if I mean, for you to have this venue is just so therapeutic for me, because I think about, we just passed Memorial Day. I think about all of our brothers and sisters, mainly brothers, but people that are not here anymore. I mean, I actually went through a roster with my wife, and we're like counting like all of our people that we knew, and it's like, dude, I don't have any fingers and toes left.
I know, dude. That's
Yeah.
the sad part.
And it's just such what we've done. You can take it for granted or not. It's just an amazing journey that all of us have had, and I've been blessed. And my whole life, there it is, has been literally luck and timing. I mean, you could be with the guy that's like, oh, well, you know, I could have gotten jets and I flew this, or dude, I got what I got because I asked for it and somehow I got it. I mean, there's nothing that says that I was good. I mean, I did good enough. And somehow I got there, you know, and
I think that's all of us, bro. You put the nail on the head for all of us. Where you know, somehow we got to where we got to do what we did, and probably shouldn't have deserved to have that. And
how do you have all these pictures of me? Did I give those to you? Jesus Christ! I mean, seriously,
he doesn't even remember.
This is where I throw it back at my P3 guys. And like, you fuckers are like retarded because you're like, I went for per diem. I'm like, you're what? That was bizarre.
I know.
But
I know.
Listen, we pursued our passions. All of us did that. All of us here are legitimate, fucking leaning forward operators of our craft. And I can't thank you enough for having this venue for people to voice it and talk to people that want to know about it. And it means a lot to me. And
well,
so thank you for bringing me back, because I mean, I feel like I'm boring. You know, because we've talked like
boring.
This is like our third. Hey,
I need a cast on 4 of my ribs, but
yeah,
I know,
the
right?
bubble wrap. They tossed me into the pool on a freaking skewer with the bubble wrap, and I floated for I don't know how long. My wife fucking put like the black marker mustache on me, and she's like, ha, 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 ha. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, and I'm floating in the goddamn water. Anyway, you can go on and on and on. I mean, it goes. I love what you do.
He's talking pictures that are up on the live stream, which you can't see if you're listening in the car right now. But go back and watch this on YouTube or
you have
Rumble, in fact. So
and tell Jungle he's an asshole, because I owed him like, I don't know, $500 in napkins. Hey,
there you go.
Right
so, all right.
I got it, Jungle, right fucking here. Whenever you're ready.
All right. So.
Okay.
All right.
Hold on.
Kemo.
Wait.
Thank you. Oh, now Fig is going on.
Here. It's right here, bitch. I got it right here. Let's go.
4 5 in 1, motherfucker.
Dude, I got 4 6s in one. 4 6s in one. Look at this shit. I am not kidding. Holy shit.
Repeat has no control over this.
I've lost control of the
venue.
show. I'm going to mute you guys, roll the thank yous. Out of here.
Yeah. Hey,
we have got to land this.
All right. Listen.
Land this.
So
All right.
I'm not orange.
Yeah. You're validated. You're not boring. So thank you, Kemo. Thank you for your service. God bless you.
Hold on.
Thank you for coming back.
All right, don't go anywhere. We got to say some thanks. We got to say some thanks.
We're going to say our thank yous and we'll get back.
Okay.
So, all right.
Cheers, everybody. We'll see you later. Boy, we'll talk later. Tucker. Talk to you, boy. St. John.
There we go.
Okay.
There he goes. All right.
All right. Idle. You're in the wires. We got you.
All right.
Slow down.
So, thanks to Dave Hamilton
Holy
over at the
shit.
Mac Geek Gab, the Gig Gab, and the Business Brain. Runs Backbeat Media. Was our advertising. So, thank you very much for that.
Dave Hamilton is our rock star. Thank you, Dave.
He is indeed. Help us get this show on the air, and he's probably sorry now.
Yeah, he probably is. Hey, and listen, we have a glossary page, and we've added a few items to it tonight, and I think we've done a pretty good job of describing them all. At least we tried to.
All kinds of things. Yeah.
You know, so there I was, .us/glossary, and there it is. So
and this is a show to go watch on video if you can. So follow us on Rumble, sothereiwas.us/Rumble, or youtube.com at So There I Was AV8B. That's Alpha Victor 8 Bravo. So,
as in Harrier.
Yeah. Yeah. And then all the people who take their hard-earned money and send it our way. Thank you so much. How would you do that, Fig, if you wanted to make more of this come across the internet?
So there I was. So there I was. .us/rate.
Well, that's to give us a 5-star rating.
Give us a 5-star rating.
If
you know what? If you can't
give us money, give us a 5-star rating.
If you can't give us a 5-star rating, tell us what we need to do to improve. Because for crying out loud, we're trainable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you can't give us 5 stars, give us $5 at SouthernRWest.us/Patreon.
That was a perfect segue.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I was going to make that happen one way or another. Right? So,
Well done. Even though your cohorse was fucking it up like Nixon.
oh man. Well, then there's a couple other people who have been making it happen. Unbelievable timing and great stuff all night long in the background, but have gotten
my
up dead
gosh.
cows and amazing photos.
Listen,
Thank you,
our
Sticks.
two, sorry, Sticks and Bago. I'm sorry to interrupt you, brother. Sticks and Bago in the background. They are magicians. They're the big brains behind this whole operation. Thank you, gents.
I don't know how they do it. The timing on that is outstanding and amazing. And
They were putting pictures up before he finished the sentence sometimes.
they were. I know. It was crazy. It's like they're psychotic and know what we were going to say. I don't know.
I know, right? Yeah, adult. They are the adult supervision of this whole.
Yeah, no
circus
doubt about
act.
that. So,
Yes.
holy shit. And then last 2 guys who I'm surprised they weren't naval aviators, I got to say.
Well, they would have been outstanding ones. That's the Dos Gringos you're hearing in the background, gents, ladies and gentlemen. Those are 2 Air Force F-16 pilots that make the Air Force sound good.
They do indeed.
4 albums, not a bad song on any of them, and they're letting us use their music. We had them on our show. They were a great interview.
Yeah, outstanding show. We got to get them back as well. They just, they'd have gone in the Navy. They just didn't want to be stuck on a boat in the middle of nowhere with 5,000 other men, I think is how they put it. So.
Now, Kemo, what's up on the screen right there is our So There I Was bikini that you can get on the sothereiwas.us/merch page. Tatiana would look great in that.
Yeah.
His
those.
mic's muted.
Yeah.
Otherwise, or
I had to do it.
somebody
no way
muted him or
out
he
here
muted
if I didn't
himself.
mute the mic. So here we go. Until next week, stay safe and check 6.
He's still talking. He's still talking. Let him loose. Let
There
him
I
loose.
was, crossing the pond, and you could see that I wasn't exactly
Okay, we can
fond
hear you now, bro.
of all the shit I was wearing on that day. Now an F-16 is cramped enough, but it's even worse with all that stuff supposed to save your life. But we knew there was no way.
Oh God.
When you're going down in the North Atlantic, man, it's
I'm
over.
just saying, I have a better picture than the girl. You need to-
Hold on. It's what?
He said
My
it's
wi- my
over.
wife is
He
saying,
said it's
"Don't-"
over.
my wife is
Kemo,
like,
he
"Don't-
said it's
don't send
over.
that
Who doesn't
picture."
know that?
He said it's-
My wife is like, don't send that picture. I'm like, but it's a much better picture.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Brad, badass.
Yeah.
Silcott says killer surprise show wide ass open.
Dude, I got 5 stars. Who was that? I love you, brother. You were probably an Air Force guy, Viper dude.
No. Yeah.
No, that's
Chucker.
that's Chucker, man.
Oh, Chucker.
I forget.
Yeah, that's Chucker.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, that was
Hey, Poi St. Daniel St. John. We're gonna talk later. I know.
damn
that.
right.
I know.
Bring it on, Foo. Bring it on, Foo
Yeah,
Master.
we're gonna bring that shit. We're gonna bring it. We're gonna bring it. So what am I doing
Oh
now?
my gosh, repeat. You need to go, bro. You got to get
Yeah.
up early.
I do.
I
All right.
I cannot talk with my hands full. My hands are full.
We're going to end this right now, everybody, and we will say goodnight. Thank you for joining us live. Go get checked out by your doctor. Your ribs will be fine in a few days. I'm sure.
Yep. And if it's burning when you piss, it'll go away. I promise.
Sage words. Good night.